Alright, this is Jeff Stunkard. We are at the MCACN show 2024. It is 4:30 in the morning on Sunday, and we've come inside to take a look when it's quiet. And there are some absolutely spectacular cars here this year. Again, our hats off to for Bob Ashton setting this event up, and of course for Ryan Brut for his tireless work to get these cars out here. Again, you move something like this across the country to bring it out, and these cars have come from all over this year. So we are checking out Dave Hunter's 1968 Hemi Coronet RT convertible. A very, very cool car. Obviously it's been hung up wet, but that's all right. This is something well worth restoring. And right next to it, Michael and Rachel. All right, we are looking at the Michael and Rachel Johnson 1969 Mercury Cyclone, the 429 Super Cobra jet driveline in it. Another cool piece here. Again, Mercury are pretty deluxe muscle cars. This one's got a top loader in it, rally dash. Fastback body line was still pretty swoopy to win. I mean, the Torino Talladega and the Cyclone Spoiler 2 were slicker, but these cars did very, very well on the NASCAR tracks. How about an AMC Rebel Machine? Frederick Francois of Olathe, Kansas brought this one in. Dings and dents, but that's all right. Check out that tricolor fold down for the buddy seat. And looks like the driveline's out of it, but the whole looks like it was a 4-speed car. So how about this 1972 Pontiacs Grand Prix SSJ Hearst? John Rogers of Oxford, PA brought in this one. Got some paperwork on it. Pictures of Linda and Nikki at York. And real deluxe interior in this. Dash was set up sort of like a fighter plane. White interior. And Hearst package cars, there were 60 of these built that year. And how about this one here, 1971 Hornet SC 360. This was the successor to the Scrambler package. This one was found by Martin Metz, New Jersey, and former race car, has decals in the back, including a Raceway Park, Englishtown. Not too bad. 4-speed on the floor, auxiliary gas gauges. Very nice car. And here we go. 1970 Coronet RT convertible. It's a 444 barrel car. It looks fairly solid. This came in from Evan Wheaton of Bainbridge, Ohio. And it's got wood trim, console, it's great RT scoops, black scat stripe. A cool piece. The Ram Charger was optional that year. And if you didn't order it, you ended up with that hood treatment, which was also standard on the Super B. How about this? Y88 1978 Pontiac Trans Am Special Edition. This is actually a pretty solid car. This came out courtesy of Joel Evans of Montrose, Colorado, all the way from the mountains. And again, this one's got sun fading to one side, but actually the rest of it's pretty solid. And that Y88 was the 400 CI package, and got gold trim inside, and of course that ball knob shifter. And very nice interior, leather appointments inside. Very, very nice. Solar gold T-tops, fully optioned, and features factory radio, CB radios. So this one might not buff out. This car came from Ed Fisher of Litchfield, Connecticut, and Ed put a note on here that this car is going to be restored. This is a 402 heavy Chevy. This is a big block, and again, obviously somebody ran into something that was not good, and don't really, now I'm looking at it, I'm not really liking the hole in the windshield. So That might have been a real bad problem for the guy driving it. And the heavy Chevy was marketed as an alternative to the more expensive and high-level trim SS models. And as you can see, it's a bench seat, but it is a 4-speed. And a big signboard here talking about what they went through to go get it. And in 2023, he got a call and was able to make a deal on this 8,279 car. And it was parked under pine trees after crashing within the first year of its life. So, wow. Thanks, Ed, for bringing that out. How about George DeLaris? He's got this 1973 Excalibur. Now, this was Priscilla Presley's series Phaeton, and I don't know if that means that she owned it. Maybe it does. Let's see, there's some paperwork here. Charles Schmidt and Company, customer. It was sold in Beverly Hills. Oh, it might well have been the one that Priscilla owns. So. And again, mid-70s, there were a number of desirables. 1970s, there were a number of opportunities to buy these sort of repurposed late model driveline classic car style. This one obviously takes after a Duesenberg. But have not really picked up in a lot of collector value. I think people try to stick with things they think are more authentic, which is okay. But again, the fact it showed up here would be a neat project once it's finished up. And here we go. How about a 1965 Pontiac 2+2 421 tri-power 4-speed. Factory air conditioning, the convertible. And that console with the 4-speed in it, don't see that too much. Gonna need a top, big trunk, and actually not a bad car, fairly solid. So right, came out of the Southwest. This car came from Phil Silva of Ida, Oklahoma. '21 tri-power, cool. How about this 1964? This is also a 421 tri-power, but it's underneath that trademark dual snorkel offset air cleaner. And this is actually a Safari station wagon, which, you know, again, these, not too many of these survived with any kind of motor in them, let alone with a tri-power motor in it. And these are a big deal now in vintage drag racing as tow cars. So it's got 2 front seats, as you would imagine, the middle seat, and of course that fold-up back seat, which lets you pull your hand down and get the truckers to honk or whatever you might do with it. But that monster Bonneville here, big roof rack. And another car that's not too bad off. And Tracy Tretch of Norwalk, Ohio brought this thing in, deep in the heart of Texas. Sticking with the big deal, here we go, the 64 Ford Galaxie 500 XL from Lauren Baldwin of Goshen, Ohio. And of course the 500 XL was the deluxe trim model. By this point in time, we had ended up with, you know, pretty neat styling inside, and that fast back roof line that made such a big difference on the NASCAR tracks. Ford was still trying to run full-size cars, but they were doing what they could to begin to try to swoop them out a little bit. And again, fairly solid car here, and that's part of row 1 here at MCACN. All right, let's walk row 2 here quick. Again, hats off to Ryan Brut for the hard work that goes into putting this kind of display together. And again, we are looking at a string of super great high-end Mopars that are in need of some help, but that's all right. But we'll go over here for a minute. This is the SCCA raced 1963 Stingray. So this is a race car, but there you go. There's that tanker in the back. ZO6. And again, it's got a race seat in place of the driver's seat. Santa Barbara Road Races, SCCA, 1963 by Scott Braley in the number 41 Stingrays. This was a California car. Check it out. Scott Andrews brought this in. SCCA licensing. So, again, obviously a car that will get restored and Should be quite a looker when it's done, whether they put it back into race paint or whether they put it back into OE. I couldn't tell you. Probably go back to OE. So and Scott Andrews brought that in from Reno, Nevada. And how about this Cuda here? This was a custom car. Kyle Shea brought this car in. Kyle's is from Providence, Minnesota, and this was a custom 6-pack car that now has a Hemi in it. It looks like it was raced, but interestingly enough, this is what the car looked like when it was being used. And when they brought it home, they actually didn't even take it off the trailer. I mean, it's on the trailer getting towed back because the wheels were so far down in the dirt. Keystone Classics on it, and little faded memories of that custom paint on the side. Sherry's Cuda. And again, 4-speed. How about a wing? Rodney Carter of Sadie Shores, Texas, brought in this Superbird. Looks like a 444 barrel. Very nice car. 26,000 original miles. Runs and drives. Parts are in the trunk. 2024 MCACN Award. Pistol grip 4-speed. There's that Superbird icon on there. A lot of white birds out there, and you know, I don't know if that was because they thought people might customize, but anyway, neat piece. And let's take a look at this. Of course, the forerunner to the Superbird was the Dodge Daytona. You can tell the huge difference in the pylon. Let's see the base of the pylon there for the Superbird, and the base of the pylon here for Charger. And it's much wider on the Superbird. So again, the Charger Daytona was actually a much more deluxe model than the Superbird was. The Superbirds were all based on Roadrunners, and the Charger Daytonas were all based on RTs. And this one is a 440. Painted petty blue. Came in from the Mopars 5051 group. A bunch of these cars are going to be from them. And this one's got slots on it. Fairly solid California car. Charger Daytona. Cool. Now, of these B bodies, this 1969 Charger is also pretty neat. So, as you can see the difference in the 1969 Flying Buttress rear window and the flush-mounted 1969 Charger Daytona rear window. Scat stripes. This one's an automatic, but there is a 426 Hemi under the hood. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So again, a lot of these Chargers, and it's only got California even more so, but they got Dukes of Hazzard even by the TV show or by youthful owners, and a lot of them got the snot beat out, and this is actually a pretty solid version. Here's a 68 Charger. This one's a 444 barrel RT. Got an Elbrock Torquer under the hood. Another car from the 5150 group. And it might have been, I guess that deep purple probably is correct based on what we're seeing on that deck lid. Flip open gas cap. Hood mounted turn signals. Alright, that's it for the B's. Let's go to the E's. 1970 Cuda 446 pack. Again, Mopars 5150. Brentwood, California. This one's actually a pretty solid car, and I think this is a car they probably just drive for fun. It's got BF Goodrich radial TA tires on it. Obviously the shaker's intact, and has a customized velour interior. Some just pretty nice appointments throughout, not a restoration. There's a custom side stripe down the side, unless that was where, you know, that could have been the print stripe outline for the side trim. You could get a Cuda with the side trim on it, for prevent parking light dings in place of the in place of the hockey sticks. And some people did option for that, and that meant the hockey sticks were left off. That might be an original paint, but again, neat piece. And it looks like it's a driver. It still has the exhaust manifolds on it. 446 pack. Very cool. Next door. Oh, here's another 6-pack. This one's 100 inches smaller. This is a plum crazy Challenger TA that came in from the 5150 guys. You see the drive lines out of it. There's that SCCA fiberglass hood. This car is an automatic, has a rally dash, it's got an AM/FM radio inside, an auxiliary booster of some kind, or maybe a CB radio. Of course, that little duckbill spoiler was exclusive to the Challenger TA model. You got the regular Go Wing if you ordered the spoiler on the standard edition. A couple of 71 Hemi cars. This, of all the things here in the barn, I think, probably blew people away. 1971 Challenger RT. It's got a Coyote Duster decal on that Hemi, and so there's no fender tag on there. I don't know if that's a factory Hemi installation or not. It's not. It's saying Challenger RT on it, and there's RT trim on it. But I'm going to just believe it's a Hemi just because I can. So very cool. Again, this one's got a pistol grip 4-speed in it. Classic RT lettering. RT lettering on the side is obviously authentic, so, and I don't think these guys cobble anything together. That's going to need some work on this. See what happens underneath your vinyl top when it leaks. And right next to it is the 71 Hemi Cuda. Another car that's got its motor in it. How about Manhandler Lee L60 15 rear tires? And this car is really cool from the standpoint that it is a column shift. Okay, I know that's the takeaway, but it's got the fold down bench seat with the buddy with the armrest in it. And AM radio, rally dash, shaker hood, and 426 Hemi. Check it out. '71 style ring remains iconic. These parts for these cars are super tough to get. So again, it's got a solid grille on it. That makes a big difference. I mean, not having to replace that, and shakers on it, and looks like some good hardware all the way around. So be a good project to finish up with, and you know, we'll see if it gets back here done. And finally, for this year, how about this car out of Manitoto, Canada? Evan Edwards brought this in. This is an FM3 Panther Pink Coronet 440. Probably a small block 318 or a 383 two-barrel model. But, you know, Panther Pink on anything is cool, but this one's got a white top and a white gut. And its own Pink Panther. So, anyway, that's it for MCACN here at the Barn Finds in 2024. This is Stunkard, and we'll be back.